All right. We're going to get to our closing keynote for the day. It was several years ago, Cody brought this to my attention. He's like, have you seen this website, Aging Evolution? And I said, no, I never heard of it. How many of you have heard of Aging Evolution? Oh, only a couple. All right. You're in for a real treat. So we stumbled upon Aging Evolution, and we thought, it's time that we got a female bodybuilder up on our stage. And so it's been really fun to watch Evelyn, fun to watch her story. It's really her story that I appreciate the most. But we have a cool promo video to welcome her up on the stage. When the video ends, I want you to stand and give her a big welcome round of applause. So Evelyn Flaharty, please cue that video.
How's everybody doing? Good? All right. Well, first I want to share something with you. Last weekend, I turned 64. Yep. I am so excited. I'm looking forward to what's ahead of me. At 64, I can tell you that I have never felt better, younger, stronger, fitter, and more importantly, I am in the best health of my life. But it wasn't always that way. So let me take you back to where I came from and how I got to where I am today. So I worked for 35 years in corporate America, traveling around the world. I was in a predominantly male-dominated area, so I had to work twice as hard to make sure that I stayed up on top and got the same amount of credit. So my focus was strictly on my career. I was young and felt like, this is my time. I didn't have to worry about my health or my fitness. I mean, after all, when we're young, don't we all think we're invincible, right? So I did that for 35 years, but then I started thinking, it's time for retirement. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that challenged me, something that benefited me, not the shareholders, something that was a little more interesting. I wasn't sure what it was, but I was going to go out and find it. I had plenty of free time on my hands, so I decided, maybe I'll join the gym, okay? Let me tell you, that was not something I had ever thought that I would see myself doing. The word athlete was not in my vocabulary, and I just didn't know if I could fit into that environment. So I decided, why not? Let's, give this a shot. So I joined the gym for the first time and decided to start off really slow. I started with yoga, found out that I had absolutely no flexibility. I guess, all that sitting behind the desk didn't help any, but I wasn't flexible, so I decided, let's try something else. And I moved into Zumba, and yes, I enjoyed that because I love dancing. I mean, the rhythm, I could get into this. I thought, this would be cool. So I'm moving happily along the way, and I went for an annual physical. And during that annual physical, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. That news shocked me to my core. I mean, I was wondering, am I going to die? Am I going to be able to fulfill all my dreams that I wanted? I mean, I just retired. I had plans. My mom died when she was young. My dad died at 68 from complications from a stroke. And here I am, thyroid cancer. I tried to envision what life was going to be like. I knew one thing: health and fitness was going to be my new priority in life. I knew the direction that I needed to take. So, heading back to the gym with a new interest in life, because my doctor told me that this new life without a thyroid was not going to be a nice one. I was going to experience tremendous weight gain. I already had issues with cholesterol, he said. I felt these aches and pains in my body. My husband used to call me the Tin Man because I could not get out of the bed. Everything hurt. It was inflammation in my body. And when I would have this discussion with my doctor, he said, honey, it's just your body has changed. You're going through change of life on top of the thyroid issues, and it happens to all of us. We slow down. Just deal with it. No. I can tell you that he's no longer my doctor, okay? That attitude wasn't going to work for me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start strength training, because what I want to do is make myself stronger, fitter. I wanted to be able to anything that was going to come my way. I wanted to be able to fight back. I want to get rid of these aches and pains. I also said, you know what? I want to learn as much as there is about nutrition. And I became very obsessed with that. I want to know what to eat, when to eat, what's best for me, what's not good for me. And with no thyroid, there are a lot of issues. So I wanted to learn about all that stuff. And in the process, I fell in love with this new passion of mine, fitness. I was like, why didn't anybody tell me about this before? My God, no wonder my husband's always in the gym. This was a lot of fun. And I wanted to paint a vision. I'm like, so where am I going to take this? I want to be a bodybuilder. I'm going to try that. So I started training and competing in bodybuilding events. And at the regional level, they usually aren't any people over the age of 50 and 60. So I would always compete against younger women. But that was fine. I really enjoyed competing as a bodybuilder. And to tell you the truth, in about 4 weeks, which kind of made it difficult for me to be here, if you've seen me up and down the elevator with my own little food and heating it up, I will be competing on stage to go pro. So in the process of bodybuilding and getting into fitness, I met Phil Dobson. He's my business partner. He had this vision of what he called aging evolution. He said to me, have you seen the way everybody's changing? The people in the gym look younger and younger, and more mature people are working out. He goes, it's like this phenomenon that's happened. So that's how we formed this company called Aging Evolution. So what is Aging Evolution? Aging Evolution is the fastest growing online community of anti-aging enthusiasts. Our members believe that anything they want to achieve, they can do. Age is not a factor in that equation, okay? And we all know that. They believe that the success to achieving their goals is to live a fit life. Not a fad, not a point in time, but a completely fit life. I want to walk you through several of these amazing members that you can see what some of these people are doing at any age. So meet Iris. Iris is 75. She is a trainer, still working, loves to train older adults to show them by leading by example what she can do. And she likes to start every day by doing 10 pull-ups. I'm still working on one. Look at the definition in her back. She's been in fitness for over 30 years. So she does that, and then she trains her clients. So you know her clients are going to pay attention to her. Next, I want you to meet Ed. Ed is 71. He was diagnosed with diabetes and thought, oh my God, what have I gone and done? And he wanted to try and turn that around. So he learned about nutrition and decided that he was going to eat for a fit life, managed to drop the weight, and today, Ed participates in numerous activities. His favorite is cycling. If there is a race anywhere, Ed is right up there in front. He wants to do all these activities, and there is nothing that is going to stop him, he says, just because of his diabetes. Meet my friend Irene. Irene and I work out at the same gym. That's how I met Irene. She's 67, and what Irene does is she likes to set these, what she calls mini goals. She sets a goal, works it until she gets it, ticks it off her list, sets another goal, works on that one, and works to the next goal. I happened to be in the gym the day that she achieved one of the goals. Irene wanted to push this sled across the gym, 400 pounds on that sled. Come on, Lorraine. You got it. I like this. I took this video and I gave it to Irene. We had posted it up on the site. Irene's friends saw it. And they told Irene, Irene, you should do stuff like that. You're gonna hurt yourself, okay? Irene's reply was, no, I'm doing this to get stronger so I don't hurt myself, okay? So you have to have the right attitude, and you will come against people who won't understand and tell you, stop, you're doing bad stuff. And it is not bad stuff if they don't understand it. Jerry, 64, check out his abs. I mean, I have to go through an entire diet to be able to get these abs. Jerry does not like being in the gym. Jerry is purely an outdoors kind of guy, and he likes to find ways to challenge his body with calisthenics, any type of physical activity. Lives in Florida, so he's out most of the time. I tell him, Jerry, you don't have to work out in your driveway without a shirt on, but I guess, I don't know, I guess if I had those abs, I'd want my neighbors to see them too, right? Whatever. But check them out. Those abs, that core strength, that's a medicine ball he's holding. Core strength. My goodness. I mean, I wouldn't even try to attempt something like that, okay? He likes to do things like that. He likes to do these push-ups, holding himself with his pinkies, they call it, right? Okay, just really freaky stuff, you know, in my opinion. But again, he just is looking for ways. These people just want to see, how far can my body go? Okay? What else can I try? You know, how else can I improve? How can I make myself run faster? What can I do to, you know, just stay as fit as I possibly can as I move on? Stephanie is 64. Stephanie looked in the mirror one day, and her daughter looked at her and said, Mommy, you're fat. Stephanie said, it broke my heart. And so I decided that I was going to fight back and do something about this weight. And she went on her fitness journey. She said, as soon as I lose all this weight, Mommy's gonna get up on stage and compete at an event. Which she did at 63. She stood up on that stage and competed while her daughter was out in the audience. At her age, most people are complaining about knees, right? We all hear about knees, my knees hurt. I can't do that because I have bad knees. We'll talk later about the difference between perception and reality, okay? So one of her favorite activities, she likes jumping risers. I can tell you that I started much, much later in life. Like I said, when I started, I was already way in my 50s, and I wasn't into any kind of sports when I was younger. So, yeah, I do have problems with my knees, or had issues with my knees. I remember doing, certainly not something that high, but you know when you go to the gym and they tell us we all have to do that little box jump? You know, I injured myself on that. It took 2 years for that to heal itself, okay? So we will be talking about that while we can push ourselves to do things that perhaps we think, oh my God, this is great, we have to be careful because we don't heal as quickly. Or worse, we can injure ourselves and not recover and just take us right out of the game. So I think it's a little game that we have to play here with balance and what activities we want to partake. I, for example, am not a big proponent for me of doing squats with the bar on my back, okay? Because of my fears, and I always think about my knees and my back and the whole thing. But there's 1,000,001 exercises out there. I always say to my coach, hey, there's 1,001 ways to skin a cat. Don't get hung up on one, okay? Like Dana is 62, feeling really proud of himself. I tell like, Dana is a mixed martial arts, and that is his area of expertise. He's been competing in that sport for many, many years. Unfortunate for him, they don't have too many masters classes where he competes. But that's not going to stop him, and he continues to compete. He'll just do it against younger guys, and I certainly wouldn't want to be that bag. I want you to meet Catherine. Catherine has been into fitness for 30 years. She has never not known fitness. She's gone through several injuries that have sidelined her for a while, but she just goes right back into it. She always knew when she started out in her 20s that she wanted to be a competitor in the Olympia competition. And she started out on that mission. At 62, Catherine won her pro card, and proving that you can build muscle at any age. She is now competing at the pro level, where there are several scenarios and competitions that you have to win before you're able to compete for that elusive title, which is the championship of our sport, which is the Olympia title. So she's going to go for it. I told my husband I was going to go for it, but he said, we don't have that much time, baby. Franklin is 61. I can't believe the size of those biceps. I mean, Jesus. He is another one who gave me his photos from 20 when he started competing. And he said, again, the same thing. He was not going to stop until he earned his pro card. He tried 6 times to get that card. But he said, I'm not going to give up, and I don't care how old I am, I'm gonna get it. And he did. He eventually got it at the age of 60, but he got it. He's proud. Unfortunately, he said, now there are no classes over 60 to compete against, so when you want to go to that fight for the Olympia, you're going to be standing next to those young boys. And he's like, great. He says, but that's okay. I got more than they have. And much muscle, he tells me, muscle maturity as you age for men actually looks better than on the younger men. So that's what I've been told, so we shall see. I guess those biceps are an indicator that he's pretty darn strong, would you say? Here's his favorite exercise. That's 810 pounds. Notice that he's smart enough to wrap his knees up, okay? His knees not just going in there, willy-nilly crazy. He's wrapping his knees, he's cautious of it, he likes to lift heavy. That's not gonna be me ever. No, I'm not gonna go that heavy. But it's interesting how much capacity people have within them that they don't know. So they test the limits, and that's great. Here's Kevin on stage. Remember I told you that, Franklin. I told you that Franklin competes, right? That's Franklin in the pink shorts. The reason I'm showing you this picture is because in the plaid shorts is his 23-year-old son. He said his goal was that he wanted to do one show with my boy. When I saw the picture, I thought he had a twin brother. I mean, literally, I had to ask him, Franklin, you didn't tell me you had a twin brother. He goes, I don't. I said, there's a picture of you where you're wearing, shorts. I don't know which one's you. He goes, that's Franklin Jr. I'm like, Jesus, unbelievable, right? I think that's pretty cool. Showing there, right, that there is such a thing as a fountain of youth, okay? I don't know if you've experienced or seen that. I know I've seen it with myself. When I look at pictures of myself in my 30s and my 40s, I'm like, man, life didn't treat you well, And I noticed slowly, literally, that you can change. Just think, your cells are all rejuvenating, right? You have new tissue, you're rebuilding yourself from the inside out. So what you put in is very important. How you nourish yourself, right? How you hydrate, how much rest you get. All of these things will help you, Bless you. I always say, think of it as a car, okay? You can get a brand new car and not do any maintenance to it, right? And you can just drive it from here all over the place and just put tons of miles on it. After a while, the thing's gonna break down on you because you're just not taking care of it, right? But you take that same car, change the tires, get the oil change, just little tender love and care, put it in the garage. You take care of that car, and later on, it becomes known as an antique, right? It's the same thing, I say, with my body, okay? I don't want to be called an antique, but I certainly want to be around later on, and I want my body to look just as good when I age as I did when I started out. So I'm going to work it. I am going to work it. Susan is 63 with her 2 girls. I like this picture of Susan because it just shows joy, the happiness. I mean, just look at them. You think the daughters aren't happy to be? Mom, come on, this is a good photo. Let's jump up and down. She is doing great. She also competes here. She will be standing next to me in a couple of weeks competing for her pro card. Last year when we were standing together at a competition, I look at her and I go, are you Susan? And I start talking to her, and she said, how do you know my name? I said, because you're a member of Aging Evolution, and I know every member that we have, because I've posted pictures of you. She was like, oh my God. And then I realized, you can compete against me. I'm not sure about this, but but here we are. So Susan, 63, looking fabulous. I'm gonna take it down a notch here, and that's for a reason. Felicia is only 56. Yeah. But what I like about this picture is you can't tell the dynamics here, but those are her sons, and that is her granddaughter. I mean, you might say maybe her brothers. I mean, that, she says, oh, every time I go out, and I go out with my granddaughter, everybody says, oh, your daughter is so pretty. She says, this is my granddaughter. So I thought I'd show you that picture just to show you. Felicia, yes, works out and lives a fit life. But it goes to show you what you can accomplish. She is an example for her children, and now her children are also following her steps. And they cook their prep meals together, and they set it all up, and wherever they go, they take their food with them. So she is teaching them how to follow in her footsteps, which I think is great. Kevin. Kevin is an interesting fella. I tell Kevin all the time, I said, Kevin, you keep me on my toes. Every day, you keep me on my toes. At 45, Kevin says that he was in the backyard, the family was all together, and they were playing games. And he said, it got hot, and I started feeling dizzy, and I didn't feel good, and I had to excuse myself and go inside and lay down in the air conditioning. And everybody was enjoying themselves outside, and I was looking through the window and thought, this is not the way I want to live my life. I want to be out there with them. I don't want to be on the sidelines in here. You know, my kids are growing up, and I want to do activities with them. So he decided to go on a transformation journey. Took him about 8 years. When he finally dropped his weight and felt that he was fit, there was no stopping this man. Every time you turn around, he's competing in something, okay? He's competed in numerous bodybuilding events. I asked him, are you gonna compete for your pro card in July? And he said, no, I'm gonna wait. I got plenty of time. You're in your 60s and just go for, I got tons of time. Okay, all right. So, marathons. He enters and loves to run marathons. So, 2 months ago, right, I was talking to Kevin, and he was telling me about his new thing, right? Each one of his children, he finds what they're interested in, and that's what he wants to get involved with. So he was doing marathons with his son. His daughter swims, and Kevin doesn't know how to swim. So 2 months ago, Kevin decides, I want to learn how to swim, right? He asked his daughter to teach him, and then he went to the Y and took lessons at the Y and was determined to learn how to swim, which he did. Last weekend, when I spoke to him, he called me to congratulate me on my birthday. When I spoke to him, I said, Kevin, what you been up to? He said, oh, I just finished a triathlon. I had to swim 750 meters in open waters. Who does that? I said, Kevin, you just learned how to swim. He goes, yeah. He goes, I headed for the buoy, and there were several times I caught myself hanging on for dear life to this slippery thing, but everybody else kept going, and I was not going to be left behind. So I made it to the finish line. He goes, I probably would have scored really high in that triathlon if it hadn't been for the swimming. I don't know. Swimming, not knowing, maybe you might want to try a pool, Wants to try 750 meters in open waters, nevertheless. I'm like, okay, Kevin. So I said, what's next? He said, you know what, I think I want to try powerlifting. He says, I'm not very good at squatting, and that'll give me a good reason to learn how. So I'm like, heaven, how do I keep up with you? So this is what I'm telling you, what is so fascinating. You have these people around you all the time, people who don't know what their potential is unless we tap into it and get them out there, okay? If we get these people interested, you'd be surprised. Once you get them started, there's no stopping. I say the baby boomers, the one generation that they just refuse to kick down. They will not let you kick them down. They're going to fight for everything and get everything they possibly can out of life. So I told you that I went through a transformation, so only fair that I share with you. That was me when I first joined the gym. I remember that I didn't own gym clothes. I went to Walmart, and I got myself these capri pants, had a stripe down the side, and I wanted them to match the top, so I would always show up to the gym with my little matchy outfit, you know, with my overgrown Walmart pants. And one day my trainer said to me, just stand there, I want to take a picture. She goes, because the problem is people don't appreciate the progress they make until way later on when they see a picture. Because you don't appreciate it as you're going through it, okay? We don't see that there's been any kind of change. So when she showed me that picture, I was like, oh, let's burn it, you know? Let's just burn that picture. But, you know, now I look at it and I go, I don't know. Somehow I got up on the internet, I'm like, Jesus, okay, there's no denying it. Yes, that's me. And then you could see that last picture there was, it says 63. Well, technically I was almost 64 because that picture was just a couple of weeks ago at a photo shoot that I was doing. So you can see the progression. It didn't happen overnight, okay? It's not genetics. Some people say not genetics. I didn't have a muscle in my body. I remember one time I was in the gym, and like I said, I was afraid to go near the weights at the beginning, but I finally made it over there, and my husband happened to be working out, and my trainer calls him over, and he goes, John, come here. He goes, I'm trying to get Evie to do lateral raises. You know, it's only 5 pounds, but she can't lift her arms. My husband goes, what do you mean? He goes, stop it. He goes, pull your arms up. I'm like, he's like, come on, pull them up. They were just too heavy to do that. And he turned around, he said, she's your problem. And he walked away. And I remember that, thinking, 5 pounds, that's a bag of sugar. I mean, I kind of felt embarrassed. But now, all I do is encourage everyone else that I see at the gym starting out. Because I would say, you know, today's 5 pounds, tomorrow will be 10. After that, it'll be 20. We all start somewhere, you know. What's hard today will one day be easy. What's the saying? Today's workout is tomorrow's warm-up, okay? So we just got to keep pushing forward and never give up, you know. Just one day at a time, or I like to say, one pin at a time. My goal is when I go into the gym, move that pin, move that pin. I found this video on the internet. Listen carefully to what this gentleman has to say. I think it just speaks to everything we've been talking about here.
You start off being old mentally. You start thinking of yourself as old. All those things are things that limit your way of thinking. It limits your possibilities. It limits what you think you're capable of doing. It limits what you think you should be doing. Who said that because you're 50, you should not be able to run a mile in 6 minutes? Who? Show me where that's written. It's not a law. It's what you've been told, and it's what you have told yourself. You are your only limit. You can't stop yourself from actually getting older. For getting old, yes, you can. Once you get there mentally, the physical follows. Because if you actually embody what you actually think, and you live it, then age is just a number. Some people die at 25, but they're not buried until they're 70. I just refuse for that to be me.
Do we agree? I mean, well said. It's all up here, okay? If we think that way, that's the way we're going to act, okay? It all begins with the way we think, and then we can move it into the physical. So, what about you? How do you fit into this equation? Well, I can tell you, as people who come in contact and have lots of clients, you need to be out there leading by example. You need to walk the talk, okay? If you want to motivate me, if you want to motivate your client who is older, if you want us to believe in you, you have to show us that it's not just something that you're saying, but that you believe it and that you practice it. So that is key to us. Also, I can tell you how much empathy and encouragement, okay? I remember when I would be in the gym, I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't believe that I could do this stuff. It was my trainer who was always telling me, I believe in you. You can do that. You're amazing. I can't believe what you just, do you just realize what you just did? The constant feedback, positive reinforcement that, wow, someone else believes in me, why shouldn't I believe in me? Okay? And the empathy to understand when I say I can't, why can't I? Okay? Like we said, are the limitations that you're hearing, are they real or are they perceived? Okay? Is your client really having an issue with an exercise, or is it that they tell themselves that they can't do something because of X, Y, Z, and therefore that's why they don't execute on it, okay? So you have a very powerful position, you know? I would not be where I am today if it hadn't been from the people that I surrounded myself with, you know? All of the support system that's in place for me and the constant belief of those people telling me, you know, you can do it, you can do it. Go further, go ahead. Don't worry about what everybody else says, okay? This is what you need to do. And we, together, also need to dispel the myths that are out there in the way we speak. You know, sometimes we don't realize it ourselves and the language that we use, okay? So if we're out there sending out this message that age is just a number, that there is no limitation to what it is that we are capable of doing, we can all together change this process and this belief system, okay? But we have to do it all together, okay? Make sure that your clients feel that you understand them. What are their aspirations? What are their reservations? What do they want to gain out of this? Why are they doing it? You know, we all have to have a why, okay? If you can't answer that why, you're not gonna give your best effort to anything, okay? You just go through motions. So it's important to get your clients to visualize it, think about it, paint a picture. What is it that you want? What is it that you see happening here, okay? So we can make that vision a reality, okay? So that I think is very important for us to do. Get that vision in front of us and then help your client to go down that path that they're trying to go. So with that, what we can conclude is, like I've said, that age is not a factor in anything that we do. We tell ourselves sometimes that it plays a role, but it does not. Many of the things that we think we can do probably are not real, and we can achieve a lot more than I thought. I look at how my career has changed from working in corporate America with my little suit and tie, you know, back in the day when they made you wear that little stupid little tie, okay, and a suit, you know. I remember the first time I took the stage in one of those itsy-bitsy, tiny, weeny bikini outfits that we have to wear. And as I'm looking out the audience, I was thinking to myself, my God, if the people at work saw me, they'd probably say she's lost her mind. Okay? You know what happened when she got old? She lost it. You know, that's all I could think, and I was like, you're half naked up here, huh? You know, not exactly the vision I had thought of when I started down this path, and also the things that I have accomplished, that I would be a bodybuilder when I never even went to the gym, that I would be standing in a couple of weeks up on stage trying to get a pro card. That was not in my dream. That I was going to leave corporate America and that I was going to start a business in the fitness industry. That was not a vision that I had thought that was going to be me. I'll tell you. I also know Aging Evolution is about to make a movie. We're in the process of filming right now. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to be in a movie? Wow, there's another thing I hadn't thought of. But then it got even better. A couple of months ago, we went filming, and here I am standing on the set with Mark Cuban, okay, owner of the Mavs, billionaire, everybody know who he is, and Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, remember the Hulk? Yeah? People who heard about Aging Evolution, they're like, I'm an aging evolutionist. I know a thing or two about aging the right way, okay? So, yeah, these people are there, and I'm filming with them going, good Lord, where to next? Well, here's where to next. Standing here in front of all you people, talking about my life. Dan Cody, thank you for this opportunity. It certainly wasn't something I had envisioned in my life. So, the bottom line and takeaway is, don't shortchange yourself of your dreams. You got stars out there with your names on it and things that you can accomplish and achieve when you believe in yourself, because once you can think it, then you can do it, and you can get your clients to do anything as well. All starts with our belief. Thank you very much.